Hi everyone, today is Tuesday, September the 21st, 2021. And I have this idea for a book review series that I want to do. And so today I am going to talk about Marie Kondo's life-changing magic of tidying up. And if this video doesn't turn out to be too long, I may even add on Spark Joy by the same author. And I have to say, I got this idea to do book review things from Maneko 64's channel, because first of all, he has really terrific book reviews. So if you're looking for any kind of macroeconomic finance types of books, other books too, but generally macroecon leaning books, I would definitely recommend listening to him. And so anyway, so without much ado, I'll begin. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. It's a super readable, easy to follow, just very simple English and just very easily written book. I actually chanced upon that book for $5 at Costco, and I picked it up, and it was such a good and easy read that I think I sat down and finished the book in one evening. It's that light of a read, and since that time, I probably gifted that book to countless people, because it's a really useful book in addition to being easy to absorb. Now, what does the book go into? It goes into if you want to be simplistic about it, it goes into a method of decluttering, but it's much more than that. It begins with the process of asking yourself to visualize your ideal lifestyle, and visualize your ideal day. And I think that is really crucial, because once you begin to visualize what you want your day, like hour by hour, minute by minute to look like, you kind of start to see any gaps that you might have in your present lifestyle versus what you want from your life, or what you maybe wanted from your life at some point and then let go of. So that's basically what that first step of visualize your ideal life, what that step seeks to do. So visualize your ideal lifestyle, and the next step is to you have to clear out a space, essentially. And because her method of tidying is not, it's discard by, second step, discard completely first, then organize. And that she's very particular about that bit, that you must discard before you even begin to go ahead. I don't like it when people are not very nice to people who are trying to get into the freeway, but anyways, so discard completely first before you even begin to organize. And that's really important, because it's only when you discard thoroughly from every single category that you really understand what you need, what storage things you need, and what any other organization sort of elements that you may need. So start by discarding completely and thoroughly, is how she says, and discard by category, not by room. And I think this is really crucial, because a lot of times, and she talks about this in her book as well. You discard, you declutter the bathroom, and then one bathroom, and then you go to the guest bathroom, and it's the same crap in a different room, and you're doing the same thing again. However, if you combine all your items of one category in one space. Say you gather up, I'm just being sort of facetious here, but if you gather all your earbud packages and all your toothbrush or toothpaste packages or whatever from every single guest bathroom underneath, or the bathroom sinks, etc., and you see like you have 20 toothbrushes, it's a lot. Then you really begin to realistically think, wait, how many do I actually need? And given my ideal lifestyle, what do I really need? And I mean, hey, if your ideal lifestyle was you want to run a bed and breakfast, then you have a perfect number for your intended plan. So I think that tip of hers to declutter by category and not by location is really crucial. Only, of course, after you actually visualize what you want your ideal lifestyle to be. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is sort of the categories and the order of the categories. And she always suggests start with clothes first. And although that, I must say, was the hardest for me, because I had quite a collection of really beautiful clothes. It's another important part of a method, because once you begin to touch your clothes and you ask only one question, one qualifying question is, does this spark joy? That's it. And it's actually very, very tangible, that feeling that she talks about, does this actually spark joy? Because it's simple. You either feel it or you don't. And then, if you don't, no one's saying you have to like toss it right away. You thank it, you set it aside. Ideally, you thank it and you say goodbye to it, and then, you're done with it. But even if you personally, and this idea comes from a different book altogether, written by Joshua Becker, and he talks a lot about decluttering and everything. But and I forget, I read two of his books. I forget which book this idea is from, but he has a thing of like, keep setting things aside. Now Marie Kondo is very much about don't set things aside, just goodbye. However, in her second book, Spark Joy, she kind of gets a little bit looser about that idea. And I think, her book is written like sort of with the Japanese audience in mind, in some ways, I think. Because, there is some sort of thing about space. I think in America, houses are so large anyways that if you do want to set something aside and not part with it just yet, the world's not going to end because of that. Anyways, so her method is, to thank it for the memory and for whatever else, and then to say goodbye to it and put it away in a black garbage bag. Because, I didn't exactly use black garbage bags when I did it myself. I used just paper bags that were like opaque, so you couldn't. The idea is not to be able to see it again and then like second guess yourself and go back in there. And the funny thing is that once you actually say goodbye to something, you may actually just, even if you're kind of on the fence about it, you may actually just be done with it altogether. It's a very interesting thing how that process happens. So the order of clothes is the order of items is very important in her view. And since I've done her method, I concur. There's a logic behind it. I believe the logic is this. So when you touch your clothes, you really begin to think about how you want to present in the world, how you want to be seen, what you want to be known for. From a feng shui perspective also, that's a really useful idea, or a really crucial idea in feng shui, because how you want to be seen in the world is like the cornerstone of everything, right? It's the cornerstone of your your life path, of like the fame and reputation area, what you want to be known for, what sort of people you'll attract in your life that can that can help you to get there. So what do you want to be known for, how you want to be seen, that really comes out in, and also what sort of clothing helps you to feel comfortable, where do you feel the most at home. And so clothing first. She says if you have too many clothes, to do the ones that are closest to your heart first, again because joy sparked in the heart. The second, so first clothes, second books. And I think that also has a really good reason there, because your books and what you choose to read, how you nourish and nurture your mind, also it really helps you to kind of think about, hey, what's really my purpose, my meaning, my value. What are my values? How do I seek meaning, and where do I seek meaning, and where do I put meaning into my life? So clothes and books, and then after books comes papers. And her idea with papers is very interesting. I love it personally because I hate papers also. I don't like just unnecessary papers, and she says begin with the idea that you're going to toss them all, and from that mindset only pick the papers that are valuable and useful and necessary to your life. And I think that's a great that's a great way to look at things, frankly. Because if you start with, I have to declutter papers, you'll be doing papers every week for the rest of your life. But if you start with the mindset of what actually matters, okay, my passport, any visas, any super critical car title, whatever, house title, those sort of, or rental agreement, any important things like that, and that cannot be digitized. Well, even if it can be digitized, backup is always good. You never know when things go down. Wink, wink. Okay, so enough from that. So clothes, books, papers, valuables. She says valuables and precious things are, keep them whether or not they spark joy. But gift cards and those kind of things are swap them out at your nearest opportunity if you can't do it. Keep a pending box, she says, to gather up any papers that are you still have to act on them, you still have to finish something to do with the papers. And she says to talk about to finish your pending box before you move on to the next item, which is called komono, which means stuff, basically miscellaneous items. Now in her second book, which is called Spark Joy, she goes into sort of the precise order even within the komono category, because sometimes you go komono, what the heck, everything. If like me, you have children, there are many komonos. It's not just one thing that you have. So it goes into a more precise order, books and CDs, DVDs, makeup items, hot rollers and whatever, hair implements and medicines and toiletries and makeup. And so she goes into a really good order. I'll probably make another video about Spark Joy, because I actually wrote down the precise order in which he goes into each thing. So I'll put that in another video that I'll call Book Review Spark Joy. In any case, so once you go through everything, then she says to organize them and put things away. And this is really important. She emphasizes the idea of each person having their own sort of storage space, and everybody putting their things all together in that, or not all together as people, but everybody's clothes, books, this and that in one space that is meant for that person. And that is, I think that's also really good notion, because once you have that kind of fixed space, whether or not you have your own room or not, etc., it's good always to have your own space where you keep your own things. And she speaks about this thing that's a bit counterintuitive, but it's the idea of not necessarily keeping things where you use them, but keeping things by person. And that was a bit counterintuitive, because you think you want to keep things right where you're using them, but what happens when you do that is like, well, and this is like a big duh if you think about it, it leads to a lot of unnecessary clutter. But if you keep things, if you put things where you store them, and then you just take them out when you're using them and then put them right back, it makes for a really nice and clean sort of surface and appearance. And at the same time, if you've only kept things that really bring you joy, then it's no hardship to pull those things out to do whatever it is that you're doing, and then put them right back again, because those are in fact the few things that you value and you care about. So so that's those are sort of the things that I learned from the book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. And I hope you enjoyed this, and leave me a comment if there's a book that you're wondering whether I read, because you want to read it and you want to get me to review that book or share my thoughts about that book. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow maybe. Thank you. Bye.